A long wait since July for the 2024 Yamaha R3 bLUcRU World Cup to return. And round 5 was among the toughest tests the riders could face, with changeable weather conditions throughout the weekend at the Circuit Nevers Magny-Cours. A full wet race 1 saw no less than 3 of the top 5 in the championship crash out. 2 saw their realistic title hopes ended in the penultimate weekend of the campaign as early as the opening lap. Eduardo Burr, pushing to make up points from 5th in the standings ahead of the French round, had made the early break from 3rd on the grid before falling from the lead at turn 9. While simultaneously, Pietro Anastasi suffered a big high side at the 180 hairpin, taking David Novak 4th overall with him. And the 2 main title favourites didn't have things their own way either. Number 96, Mark Vick, briefly assumed the lead, but ran wide at turn 13 and dropped to 8th. And at the end of the opening lap, Gonzalo Sanchez, series leader and winner of 4 of the opening 5 races in 2024, had fallen victim to the conditions as well. A golden opportunity for pole sitter Alessandro Di Persio and R3 veteran Vick to make back points with their main rivals out of contention, but neither could take maximum advantage. Vick benefited from a subsequent spill for Dorian Joulin to take 6th, but made no progress from there, while the 26 of Cameron Swain made a break at the head of the field, leaving Di Persio in a 3-rider scrap for 2nd. Di Persio, 37 points back from Sanchez, looked set to recover as many as 20 on the penultimate lap, but the number 69 ran wide and dropped from 2nd to 4th into 180 and was left with a watching brief and 13 points as the 2 ahead of him jostled for the last of the podium places. Eamon Boccanegra, replacing Mario Sales for the French round, impressed on his World Cup debut. The 14-year-old leader of the 2024 Latin America R3 bLUcRU Talent Cup took his latest opportunity with both hands to become Peru's first podium finisher in the World SBK paddock. And he fought Takumi Takahashi throughout the final lap, both participants in the VR46 Master Camp last month. The 32, Boccanegra, fell victim to a bold outside pass from Takahashi at the Grand Courbe with less than 4 kilometres to go. And Takahashi, already a podium finisher at the Dutch round in April, looked set to match that previous best result of 2nd as he successfully fended off Boccanegra into turn 15. But he ran fractionally wide off the final turn and received an automatic final lap track limits penalty that pushed him down to 3rd. And there was still some time for further excitement at the finish, with Indy Schunsela crossing the line on the deck to take 9th of the 10 finishers in a real race of attrition. A meritorious display from 16-year-old Cameron Swain, the Asia Talent Cup graduate, runner-up in the 2023 Australian Supersport 300 series, in only his 11th R3 Cup start, having made his debut at Magny-Cours last year. A regular top 10 finisher this season, claiming his first podium and win in the class.
How I did it was exactly how you just said. I mean, I saw the opportunity. Everyone was, they were going a little bit slow, and because of the conditions, they're all taking it easy. And I just thought, I'm nowhere in the championship. Let's go for it. But the tough seasons made it feel so much better. So emotional right now. I can't thank everyone enough. My family put so much time in for me. Troy Corsa back at home helped me so much, and everyone here at Yamaha, everyone at World Superbikes has helped me. Thank you.
Dry conditions finally greeted the riders for race 2, in which all 15 finished with a more conventional battle at the front. Having reduced his gap to the points leader in 4 consecutive races, Alessandro Di Persio was keen to make more progress on Sunday morning, charging to the front in the early stages. But the 17-year-old Italian, recently announced among his country's representatives for the Intercontinental Games in Jerez at the end of this year, came into Sunday with a penalty to serve for irresponsible riding 24 hours earlier. He took the long lap from the lead, and that dropped him to 11th, where he finished his lowest score of the season at a critical time for his fading title bid. Race 2 of the French round saw a breakthrough performance from the number 28 Pietro Anastasi. The 17-year-old from Switzerland appears to have benefited from additional track time after joining the Spanish Supersport 300 Championship in 2024. In his 20th bLUcRU race start, he put in comfortably his best performance at World Cup level and only his second scoring ride of the season. 12th at the end of lap 1, he steadily climbed a place at a time using a smart, tight inside line at turn 5, and with 3 laps to go, he ran as high as second. A lap later though, he dropped out of those podium places, stuck on the outside at the Adelaide hairpin as the contenders went 3 abreast. Gonzalo Sanchez recovering into the rostrum spots on the number 23. Meanwhile, at the front, Eduardo bLU led no less than 3 laps over the line, but he was deposed from top spot into the Nürburgring chicane by Marc Vic, last year's French round race 1 winner, having engaged in a race-long scrap with bLU, but taking control in the latter stages. bLU, in his 4th bLUcRU season, is already preparing for the next chapter of his career on bigger bikes, as he's been doubling up in the Brazilian GP600 Championship. But his wait for that elusive first victory at World Cup level continues. Here he was held back from Vic as Gonzalo Sanchez relegated bLU to 3rd. Sanchez now seemed perfectly placed to return to the winner's circle with the slipstream advantage. The top 2 in the championship tied on points head-to-head into the final sector. Vic did his best to hold track position into the Lycée complex. Sanchez committed to the inside to make his move, but he ran wide at turn 15 and by the final chicane had been picked off by Eduardo bLU as well.
This race was really difficult because we were a lot of riders and there are some tiny corners, and that type of corners are really difficult. But finally we got the first position. We were thinking of all race, so we finally got the result.
So Gonzalo Sanchez remains without a win since Misano in June. 9 points gained by Marc Vic with his first victory since Assen in April. Having trailed by 34 points, leaving the season-opening Catalonia round, Vic has climbed from 7th to lead the standings with only the Aragon round in 3 weeks' time remaining. With 50 points still available, only the top 3 are still in mathematical contention for the 2024 title.